Let's get social. Love it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. They're within earshot. So. You guys ready to go?
Yep, go for it.
Oh, hang on. We got some last minute people, folks walking in. Okay, everybody, welcome. We have a Pittsburgh market is on as well. We're gonna get started. Ken Gertie is gonna piggyback this with me. We're gonna get into a little social media 101 today. We'll talk about some strategies. I could teach this class for 4 hours. So there's literally 4 hours worth of content. So I've kind of compressed 4 hours into about 20 to 25 minutes by touching on the most important concepts, the most important things for you to remember as a real estate agent when you're applying this tool to your business. Okay. All right. Today we're going to dig into getting your social media platforms integrated into Command. If you have not already done so, this gives you great leverage. It gives you an opportunity to consistently get your messaging out without chewing into a lot of time. We're going to set some goals, some actionable goals for your social media so it performs the way you need it to. And we're going to talk about how to create a following and build up engagement. What does that mean? We're going to dive into that as well. What is social media? Right out of the gate. What is social media? Social media websites and applications that enable users to create, share content, or to participate in social networking. Building blocks, identity, conversations, sharing, presence, relationships, reputation, and groups. And my favorite, the key word in that particular description, conversations. Without creating conversations, we can't create business. Okay. Using those building blocks to get your message in the hands of those interested in what you have to say, do, or sell, and a space where you are able to instantly interact with those interested consumers. Data, my favorite thing. 63% of the world's population uses social media. That is up almost 7% from a year and a half ago. The average daily usage is 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is also up, with the average user visiting 6.7 different social media platforms every month. Some of you may not even realize there are that many platforms out there. There are, and I would bet in the coming months there's going to be even more. Okay, and I guarantee from the research that I've seen that the average daily usage is going to climb significantly here in the last half of the year. Okay, so this is the time, if you have not already started to use social media in your business, this is the time to start acting on them. Take command. Ensure that your command profile and your marketing profile are up to date in command. If you don't know how to do that, you get with myself, get with Ken, one of the other leaders in Pittsburgh. It will help you go into your profile and make sure it's up to date and active. Ensure that your social media links are integrated. Again, we will help you if you're not sure how to do that. And number 3, know how to schedule social media campaigns in command. If you don't know what that means, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. There is a technology available for you with command that allows you the leverage to generate and schedule social media posts. Social media strategy. It's all about leverage. Create and schedule those weekly social media messages that are completely 100% automated. Say that again. This is perfect leverage. Do we know what the 3 L's are? Anyone?
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Yes, that should be the number one 3 L's. What are the 3 L's in our world?
Leads, listings, leverage.
Leads, listings, and leverage. Leads, listings, and leverage. How are they tied together? You get leads,
You get listings.
you get listings, and you use leverage to do that. Social media is the ultimate leverageable tool for you to have the opportunity to gather as many leads as possible, or at least touch as many leads as possible. Setting up a campaign, developing your message, creating benchmarks for yourself, establishing your targets, getting your content set up, maybe doing a little bit of market research to understand what different markets you can focus on, getting the message out. All of it can be automated through command. Do the thing. Log in, log into command, go to the bullhorn on the left, select quick post, change the text in that quick post, include the DBA logo. That's the logo at the bottom of the screen there, KW exclusive, and schedule the post. So if you don't know how to create something, or if you're like, oh, I don't know if I don't have the know-how, or I don't have the creative bone, that's fine. Command has a regular rotating quick post capability. So you can go in and select stuff that's already pre-generated for you. You just change the content of the post to be yours and hit post. Now, those cycle very rarely. So the content's doesn't cycle quickly, the automated content that's in command, but at least gives you a jumping off point. All right. Social media strategy, branding, all about branding. Do you have a brand? Ken Gurley has a brand. Blake McNeely Group has a brand. I have a brand. Do you have a brand for yourself? With that brand, be consistent. Be consistent. Are you only posting real estate listings? If you're using social media, are you only going on to post your listings? Well, if you're only doing that and you get one listing every 3 months, then you're not being consistent. People are not seeing you in their timeline. You're not getting your brand out there. You might be getting your listing out there, but you increase your availability. You increase the opportunities by being consistent. And how do you do that? Create relatable content. Be annoying. What does that mean? Be annoying.
Get that noise, like constant.
Just be, constant, consistent. Be annoying
Don't
about it.
pick on me, keep doing it.
Yeah, keep pecking away. Remember, if you have people I have clients, I tell this to clients, my social media clients all the time. They kind of say, oh my gosh, can we change up this message or that message or this content or that content? And I ask them why, and they say, well, because I've had a couple people tell me they see the same thing and they keep scrolling. That's great. Why do I say that's great? Because the people that are seeing it keep scrolling are already following them. That means the brand has established itself. That means they have created top of mind awareness with that person. But we're not just targeting that person. We're targeting everybody else who hasn't seen you yet. Right? You don't pay $1,000 a month, put a billboard up and say, well, it's been up for 3 days and 5,000 cars have driven past it, so it must have worked. We're going to take down the art. We're going to pay to put up new art. No, you keep that message up there for more cars to see it, more eyeballs to experience your message. So be annoying, be noisy, create something that's memorable. Colors, art, artwork. Create a message, create a branding positioning statement for yourself, and be determined. Be determined that you're going to create conversations from your social media campaign. Make that one of your goals. I want to create X amount of conversations every week just from my social media campaign. I can tell you that when I have a listing and I want to run paid ads, if I run a paid ad for a listing and I run it as a dynamic ad to establish messages from people to get messengers, I get them. I get about a dozen in the first 3 days every time I run a paid. Straight up. That's creating conversations around it. But you can continue to do it with the free ads. You could free posting. You can do that. But you have to be consistent. You have to be noisy. You have to be annoying. You got to be relatable. Okay? Social media strategies as we continue, a professional headshot. AI has given us now the opportunity to take your morning bedhead and turn it into a quality headshot. There literally is no excuse anymore for not having a headshot. Create one using AI if you can't get a photographer. You can do that. Contact info clearly placed on every single post. Not just in the content. People are going to look at the graphic first, and then if the graphic interests them enough to read the content, they're going to read the content, not the other way around. They're not going to read the content and then start to digest the creative. They're going to look at the creative first. So make sure that your contact information is clearly marked on your creative and your artwork. Create a call to action. Create a call to action. What does that mean, Dylan?
Like you want someone to call you or to message you or
Right.
get them to engage somehow.
Exactly. Some examples. Click the link in the bio to learn more. In your content, you can put your agent website. Okay? Include a link to that website in every post to get some traction behind your agent website, some traffic to it. Call or text me to set up a showing or listing consultation. Can't call or text you if you don't put your contact information in there. Email is another one that's worked well for me. Put my email address in. I actually get more emails or text messages than I do phone calls. Text me more to learn about this property, or text me more to learn about how I can sell your home just like I sold this one. So if you have it just sold or a just under contract and you're posting to brag about it, that's not just brag. Your goal with that post is not to brag. Your goal with that post is to capture leads. But you can't capture leads if you don't make it relatable. You make it relatable by trying to touch those who thought about selling their home. This is what the under contract for on the market for 4 days, under contract in less than a week, sold in less than 2 months. If you've been thinking about selling your home, we need to talk. Call me, contact me, so on and so forth. So create that call to action. Establish themes for yourself. Establish a theme, whether you're using colors to do it or an idol of some kind. Establish a theme. Develop a calendar for your themes. I'll give you some examples. Tuesday tips. Every Tuesday, we have an agent that's automated. Every Tuesday, she sends out Tuesday tips. Okay? Think about it Thursday. Has absolutely nothing to do with real estate. Couple examples of those posts. Think about it Thursday. Couple examples of those. What do you miss from your childhood? Put it in the comments below. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite Disney movie? Put it in the comments below. Okay. Creating some interaction, some engagement. All right. Feel Good Friday. Put a feel good quote in there every week. Right? Weekends, what are you planning on doing this? It's Friday, it's finally Friday. What are you doing this weekend? What do you have planned? Are you going to the lake? Are you going shopping? Put comments in, put your comments in below. Right? And create engagement. That's a call to action that's not tied to real estate, but what are you doing? What was that? Creating engagement. Providing yourself with an opportunity to connect with somebody you haven't met before, who may not even understand fully what you do because they didn't look at your page, they're just commenting on your post. It gives you the opportunity to then turn that into a connectable lead. Hey, I saw that you commented on my post last week. Shoot them a message and message it. I saw you commented on my post last week. Thank you for engaging with my page. Do you yourself, or do you know anyone who is in the need of any real estate services or has any real estate questions? If you do, please just shoot me a message. Bang, initial contact, done. Now you can put them on a rotator and message them every 30 days, every 6 weeks, every 12 weeks, whatever, okay? But you go back to developing a theme for your page, daily themes. Holidays are easy. You should be able to go in and schedule your holiday posts super easy. 4th of July, Labor Day, back to school, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah. Themes are built in year round. Get down to doing something every day of the week. That goes back to that being annoying and being consistent. What's stopping you? What's stopping you? Well, I'm not creative. Can leverage resources like Pinterest and Canva. Canva is, I've been doing graphic art for 18 years. Canva is, I cannot even begin to explain how big Canva is. It's an incredible resource, especially if you're not creative. There's so much there. Pinterest, an amazing resource for ideas. You can go to Pinterest and search real estate social media calendar, and you'll be busy for hours dissecting the information you come across. I don't have the time. Block out the time for your lead gen. When you do, make sure you use that time to set up your automation and command. So you're not using your entire block for just creating social media posts. Okay? I promise you, what we're going to announce here at the end of this, you're going to have the opportunity to kickstart your social media campaign if you haven't already. Once you get doing it and you get in the habit of doing it, it becomes easier. You schedule yourself every single day. You make it part of your daily routine. The next thing you know, you've got daily posts going out. If you leverage it appropriately, you might only have to do it once a week. Okay? I tried that, it didn't work. Stay with it. Stay with it. Don't create with the intention of getting a lead. Get the lead because you continue to create intention. I'll say that again. Don't create with the intention of just getting a lead. Get your leads by continuing to create intention in your messaging every day. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. Oh, I gotta create a post. How many of you done that? How many of you like it's Friday, you haven't done a single thing all week on social media, you're like, oh, I gotta create a post. I have to get back on doing this. How many are you thinking that right now? Right?
I don't have time to be consistent.
Right. Now, let me put you in a time
Sleep.
machine for a second. Let's go back pre-2006.
Wow.
Okay. This industry was not, the success and failure of you as a real estate agent in this industry was predicated on picking up the phone and walking door to door. If you didn't pick up the phone and make phone calls and walk door to door, you were not going to grow your business. You should still be doing those things. But now, and that takes time, right? That takes time. Even mailing out letters, creating flyers. Those are all time consuming things and you should be doing them as part of your lead generation tactics. But social media gives you the ultimate way to connect with way more people than you could doing those other things. Consistently and on a daily basis. If you just do it occasionally, then occasionally you'll get a result. If you do it consistently, you will start to see results. And I can tell you from data and doing this for a while, it takes 6 months minimum, 6 months of consistent messaging and consistent creation of call to action to start seeing results. It just does. It takes time for what you're doing to embed itself in the lexicon. But the more platforms that you are on, the more consistent you are with the messaging, the more dynamic you create your ads with artwork and just engagement, engagement inducing graphics, then that time could be shorter. Let's face it, the market is not great right now. If you're on Monday Morning Market Call or you are looking at the market yourself, it's been a minute since you've put something under contract. Okay, we know that. Immediately after COVID, it was like a forest fire. So that time frame for creating engagement was a lot shorter because there were more people seeking out what you had to offer. But if you create a consistent message and you create an opportunity to stay top of mind through your social media every single day, you're going to increase the opportunity for you to be seen and create a warm connection. Okay?
Doug,
Yeah.
Doug,
Yes.
so when you're saying being on social media, define that. Like, were you talking about putting your listings up there, or are you talking about talking about the housing market?
Good question. So you want to be an expert, right? Creating you go back to your themes. You don't want to just do listings. Do listings, do open houses. That should obviously be part of your content. For most of you, it probably already is, but that's probably all that it is. Become an expert. Okay? Find a niche in your community and be the local expert for that niche. That's one way you can have a theme for yourself. Right? Stand out amongst everybody else. It's a busy highway. It's 7 lanes and it's bumper to bumper traffic. How are you going to open up your lane? Separate yourself from the pack. Create a niche for yourself and then broadcast that niche. Become an expert. You can roll events into this and schedule different things. Creating opportunities for yourself. Find your industry niche and be the real estate expert. For me, for the last 2.5 years, it's been mobile home sales. It's worked. So I stick with it. I stick with it and it works. Home run agent last year, month over month. I don't even know, where's my leading home run agent last year. That's month over month. Under contract, listing, closing. Mobile homes are a big reason why. The mobile home sales are a big reason why. I fell into it, quite frankly. I did, but I'm running with it. So create a real estate niche for yourself, whether it's property management, and you've got a built-in clientele base there of buyers that could potentially be ready to stop renting and shift into buying. I got news for you guys that are into that field. From what I read last night, interest rates are gonna be coming down. Which means interest rates, payments versus mortgage payments versus lease are going, versus renting are gonna start shifting back to our, you know, pre-shift times whenever it was more likely to spend less on a mortgage than on rent, where right now it's probably close to staying, if not more in some cases. That's gonna change, so be ready for that.
Sorry.
Don't be afraid to be personal with your stuff. And what I mean by that is like, if you have something that's close to you, for me, it's Alzheimer's. Right? And we're getting into Alzheimer's walk season coming up in October. So I'm very passionate about that. So my feed is gonna start, you're gonna start seeing a lot of stuff about the Alzheimer's walk. Okay? That's personal to me. Some folks might be into, you mentioned to me before gardening, right? You need to be making gardening part of your theme. Even if it's one a day thing or one a week thing or once a month thing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but you're going in and out, I guess, because you're walking near the mic and away from the mic.
Okay. I'll sit down in front of it. All right. Any other questions? I'll wrap up by saying one of the things that I love about this company is the amount of resources we have. And not just the amount of resources that Keller Williams provides us, but the amount of education that Keller Williams provides us so that we can go out and create more resources for our agents. So in the last 2 years, specifically the last 18 months, I've done that. I've gone out and created a social media management company. I'm not just exclusively working with real estate agents. I'm also working with small businesses. But I can help you with leverage. If you're not into doing what we've discussed, if it's a time-consuming thing, or if it's I just can't get in the habit, it's a discipline thing, I just don't know if I can create enough content, whatever the case may be, there's 2 ways that can assist you with leveraging. One is social media management across the board. For $70 a month, you get Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn posts, a minimum of 20 a month. All of it is custom branded to you and your brand and created in-house. You don't have to create anything. You'll still be able to post to your page organically whenever you want, whenever you have listings or open houses or whatever. But the consistent day-to-day messaging that we've talked about, we will do for you in-house completely. We'll design it based on your preferences, and we'll create the schedule for you, and it will be you'll be branded every day on social media. Why it's a minimum of 20 posts a month? Don't always post every day on LinkedIn. So it's typically every day, but a minimum of 20 a month. If you're more of I don't need you to schedule it for me or create it, I want to do it myself. If you're a DIY person, I have graphic packs available. There's 100 graphics I have on my website right now for $65. It's daily messages. Wednesday wisdom, Tuesday tips. Monday, there's a coffee theme for Mondays. Weekends, there's some graphics. There's some templates on there for open houses. There's some templates on there for new listings. Templates on there for holidays. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to visit the website. Graphics, again, like I mentioned, for social media management, graphics are built for you, content's created for you, the message is consistent. The DIY packs are ready-made themed graphics, and they're tailor-themed. You can tailor them for yourself. So it's a Canva link. You do not have to subscribe to Canva to access it. All of the graphic elements of that pack are free. So when you upload to Canva, you click on it, the graphics will all be there. 100 graphics right down the line. All you got to do is customize them to yourself. Done. And post them to your page. If you like more information, scan the barcode there. It'll take you to the real estate biz page of our website. You can grab some more information there. Look around and let me know if you have any questions. For more tech tips, always visit Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. How to create your Facebook business page is a great lesson. It's updated frequently because Facebook is updated frequently. There's other social media platform tips on there as well. Social media or tech tips, any tip really tech related, at Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to their YouTube channel, I strongly suggest that you do so and make it a part of your weekly digest of material, digestion of material. And I'll leave you with this. Be the best version of yourself, do the things, achieve the results every day. Be in the position to establish conversations that will create warm connections, that will lead to appointments, that will lead to contracts, that will lead to closings, and ultimately lead to more referrals. Do the things in order to get to that point. This is one of the things you have to do to create more opportunities for yourself, and you'll achieve the results. All right, went a little long, Ken. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's all right, Doug. It's all right. No, so I sort of wanted to add, like, glad that you had your spiel of it. You definitely took care of the meat and potatoes of things. But I first wanted to introduce myself to everybody in your office here. If you guys don't know me and like my background, I believe pretty much everybody in my office knows this. My name's Ken. Before I was a full-time real estate agent, I was actually a full-time content creator. Had tens of thousands of followers and subscribers amongst TikTok and Twitch. So it's a live streaming platform, Twitch. And before that, and hundreds of thousands and millions of views across all platforms as well. That was my livelihood for about 3.5 years. And before that, I was in the marketing field where I was a director of marketing for several different companies. And some of my duties was to lead their content teams as well. So creating content strategies that hosted platforms that had tens of thousands of subscribers, and a lot of what they did, it was to get business. So it was either on commission based, very similar to ours, or it was product based as well. So hey, basically sell the product or whatever. So I sort of want to give you a little bit of background before I go into this. And very recently, because I had such a burnout, I guess you could say, of being in the content creation field, I wasn't going into really what I knew into and applying it to my real estate business. Recently, I've done this and I've applied a lot of the things that I've learned in the past, and it's been producing for me at a very high level, and it's starting to snowball here. A few things that, like I said, Doug definitely hit the meat and potatoes of things, but some things that I sort of wanted to say is sort of like a higher, more detail level. So first and foremost, something that has to be addressed is that before you start producing content, I'm taking this quote from Gary Vaynerchuk, who is the head of Vaynerchuk Media, which the last I checked is the largest advertising agency in the world. He always talks about being a consumer of media. You should not be posting or doing any type of content until you go and are spending time on the platform yourself. So if you are, wanting to target TikTok, you should be on TikTok following other realtors, following other people, and getting content strategies that you like from other pages, essentially. See what you can do with resources that you have in front of you, right? Like there's some people, some agents that they will go literally a plane and fly over the city or whatever. Obviously, we don't have resources to do that, but do I have a resource on my phone to go and record maybe a local restaurant that I'm at and do a quick little voiceover? Absolutely. And for that matter too, even their content style, about transitioning, about, do they have music in the background, whatever the case is, you need to be consuming this on a day-to-day basis, keeping up with what trends are currently popular. See if there's any type of styles that I don't want to say that you can rip off, but essentially that's what it is. If you look at a lot of the top content creators, a lot of their content is similar, but they do have their own flavor to it. Because at the end of the day, it's what makes you different and what value you bring, right? I talked about, oh, your holiday post, just listed post. That's all great, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you, nobody gives a shit. What they really care is what they go onto your page for, right? Do they go onto your page about like, oh, hey, like for instance, mine, I post a lot of funny content, right? So recently, one of my most recent memes that I create all myself, actually, my editor does, and I'll get into that later. People go onto my page for laughs, essentially, that are all real estate related. One of my most recent memes just got 750,000 views, right? 25,000, I believe, comments, and more than that shares. And I've had people reach out to me, and other agents reach out to me too, and just being like, "Hey man, loved it." You know, so if you create good high quality content, it's going to come back to you tenfold. You know, and like I said, all I was doing is consistently, you know, Doug said, you know, posting consistently with a particular brand, where my brand is, you know, a lot of ha-has. Now I'm trying to diversify out a little bit. You know, you can experiment with other content types, but if you have an idea of like, okay, what is your branding here? Like, there's a realtor I follow. All that he pretty much does is go over legal matters, right? And he went over the NAR lawsuit and, you know, what that means for realtors, what that means for buyers. That's the majority of what he does, and that's great. I've followed other realtors that all they do is high-end luxury listings in a very high level. That's great for them. You should be doing about 80% of your content towards one way, and you can start to dip and experiment to others, right? And at the end of the day too, you should also be doing, you know, keeping up with, you should be doing your just listed posts, you should be doing your open house posts, all things like that, because your clients will Google you and your socials will pop up. So you do want to communicate to them, regardless if you are a content page that is more about, you know, laughs or humor, or, you know, more about statistics or legal matters or finances, whatever the case is, that you still show or communicating to other people looking at it that are looking for you. Yes, hey, look, I do produce. Yes, look, I do have business. And for that matter too, they're also looking to you to see if you are using your content as a tool to leverage their listings, how their home is going to be marketed as well. I had a seller recently literally pull up my Facebook page in front of me, and she was clicking through like all my just listed open house, because that's how her property is going to be marketed, and they want to make sure that you're doing a good job, that you're not just posting some half-assed post with your iPhone and being like, hey, just listed, right? That is a communication of what you are doing first and foremost before a lot of times they even meet with you. They're going to Google you and they're going to see your pages. So it's very important that you are posting both sets of content. Also, too, strive to be constantly better with the content. Listen, you know, Doug talked about, you know, the KW command stuff, you know, the Canva templates, all that. That's great. They're a good starting point, but every single day you should be thinking about like, okay, how can I make this better? You know, maybe it's higher quality photos. Maybe it's, you know, you're implementing your own logo to it. Maybe it's, you know, a different format, whatever the case is. You should be constantly experimenting and tweaking and trying to learn how to just be a little bit better and stand out a little bit more. For instance, my editor recently, for all of our open house posts, I have on my upper tier listings, I do a walkthrough video with an agent feature, so me talking about the house very briefly, but we integrated that video into a static image of like open house, the information with that video going. It definitely stands out on the timeline more than just posting open house, here's the address, here's 3 photos, right? So it's just helping push yourself a little bit more to create this better content at the end of the day. And I was even learning too, like, okay, for my just listed posts, I am no longer starting to, in my standard operating procedures, or SOPs for short, I'm not posting kitchens, I'm not posting bathrooms, I'm not posting a price, I'm not posting the address, just for the general location. The reason for that is because I want people to reach out to me, right? I don't want people to go, oh, hey, I know exactly everything about this listing. I can maybe Google it myself, look on Zillow, look on Redfin, whatever. I want them to actually reach out to me. Hey, Ken, what's that address? Oh, hey, Ken, you know, hey, maybe the living room and the basement's really nice, but I didn't post any photos of the kitchen or bathroom. That's what people want to go see. So I want them to go and make appointments through me. I want them to go book a showing time. So just like little things like that I'm learning from other realtors that I adopted from other content. Now, also too, how I talked about like sort of like higher end content, you have to have a mix of both. You know, some people do get hung up on, you know, oh, I don't have a professional videographer, or, oh, I only go and really shell out all that money for content when I'm doing a listing photo or listing presentation or something like that. Mix the high end with what I call just like the slap up content, right? That yes, I have a lot of high end photography and videography, and we utilize here in the podcast studio and the content studio here for different things. But I also will just post up like me talking into my phone as well. So I'm constantly being in front of my audience's timeline, right? That I'm on the stories, I'm on reels, et cetera, et cetera. It's very important at the end of the day that you are getting the impressions. That somebody that's posting, 3-4 times a day, that is actually doing it with intent, is going to get a lot more results than somebody that posts once a week or once a month that has a very high end video. That's just the statistics of it, right? Because you don't know at the end of the day too, what's going to bite. There's content creators out there. All they do is post on them talking in their car on their iPhone, and it gets tens of thousands of views because they've done all the other best practices before of content, of posting regularly, posting consistently. They have a brand for themselves. So you never know, like I said, what's going to bite. So make sure that you're doing that. You're not, how Doug said, you're not letting the excuses hold you back. Last is when I first started to do the content, I did it all myself. I just did Canva, template posts. I did stuff off of KW Command. I just did the very crappy, I like my phone videos and whatnot. And I said, I'm going to do this ultra consistently at a very high volume. And that's what I did. And eventually, because I started doing that, people from my sphere started reaching out to me, right? And I was like, started to convert some of them. And it was completely because of my efforts through social media. So whatever you should be doing, you could take this as advice as just lead gen in general tactics. If you are converting from that, absolutely start to double down and reinvest into that platform. Like I reinvested into getting like education, right? So like how I talked about like, oh, I don't post kitchens or bathrooms or prices or stuff anymore, right? I did that. I learned that from a class from a content creator who's a realtor. She's at a much higher level than myself. Right? Invest in better equipment. And for that matter too, like editors and other leverage staff. Like I hire out a couple different video people between people that are producing the content for me. So either in-house, like I have a guy come in as well to, leverage the equipment that we have. He knows it at a much higher level than I do. And I also have an editor as well. He knows how to do this stuff at a much higher level than I do as well. And not to mention, it saves me time that I can pump out more content, higher end content, and I'm getting more results for it. Not only are my socials starting to grow, but I'm getting agents that are reaching out to me. I recently got a phone call from an agent in Washington State. She found me directly through my Instagram. She's like, oh, hey, I have a referral for you. Now, the referral didn't pan out, but nonetheless, I got the phone call, right? And that says something that she found me. She liked my content. She was like, oh, what you do is clearly serious. You're taking your career seriously. I like that about you. What else too? And then same thing with the editor, that I can go and I record all my stuff on one day for the most part, and I ship it off to my editor, and then he ends up posting it for me. What used to take me for, let's call it just 50% post, a very basic post that would take me maybe a couple hours to go and schedule out everything. I'm now leveraging the money that I got from doing those efforts consistently into other people to then multiply that. So, a lot of the times realtors and just small businesses in general incorrectly go, okay, I got this money. I need to afford all of it for myself, pay all my bills. Sure, great. But you need to also hurt a little bit to grow, because you just want to reinvest. And because like some of these, like if you look at some of these big content creators, also entrepreneurs, right? Like I always mispronounce his last name, Ryan Pineda, something like that. He has like crazy red hair, stuff like that. Ryan Serhant as well. Alex Ramosi, he's not a real estate agent, but he's another big content creator. He's also an entrepreneur. They have full-on content creator teams, right? That they have, full-on camera crews, full-on editors, a very high-end studio, and they see return on investment. And that's not how they started. A lot of these people started with literally nothing, or just how we talked about of, okay, just talking into their phone or doing their basic posts, and then as they see it, they double down and they reinvest. So make sure that you're doing that as well. That's sort of all I kind of got for you right now. I kind of just threw a lot of information at you. Any questions? Anything you guys want me to go in higher detail on?
I want to expand on what you mentioned there, Ken, with the referrals.
Sorry, I can't hear you. The microphone's away.
Hang on one second.
Mhm.
Can you hear now or no?
A little bit, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, faintly.
Hmm. Okay, let's try this. How about now?
There we go.
All right. Love technology. On referrals, Ken mentioned he had gotten somebody from Washington State. I closed 6 deals last year that were KW referrals. They didn't come from the Command platform. Now they eventually went into the Command platform, found me, and then connected there. They found me through social media. They looked in an area. One of the agents wasn't even a KW agent. He looked in the area, in our area, and looked at real estate agents who were most active on social media. And he said, before we get started, I have one question. Are you really that busy? Like, cause your social media is blown up. Like, are you really that busy? And I said, yeah, I am that busy. So by being active every day, consistently, you're not only creating a buzz like locally, but you're creating opportunities for people to find you by being active that way. Followers, people that are already following you will recommend you. If somebody goes on Facebook and says, hey, and they're not even related to you, they're not following you, they're not whatever, and they're in your area, they say, anybody know of a good real estate agent? Your followers will mention you, but only if you're top of mind. I keep consistently putting that content out there. And like Ken mentioned, there's an endless amount of leverageable resources to do this. But to get started for yourself, Command gives you a tremendous launching point for you to be able to establish a meaningful presence on social media. Then you can grow it from there. It's systemic. You have to stay with it. You can grow it in phases. Started with me with just Facebook. And now I'm running across Facebook and TikTok and LinkedIn, and I still use X, believe it or not. And I mean, it works. It works. I'm growing it to a point where it's going to be a YouTube channel. I mean, it's getting to where it's growing at scale. So it's not all doesn't have to happen all at once, but you have to be consistent with it.
Oh, here's something else to note too. Somebody told me this when I was just becoming a content creator that was very, very large on the Twitch platform. He told me, he's like, remember, your first pieces of content are going to be so bad, you're going to want to crawl under a hole. But that's part of it, right? Is get it out, get it posted. Do not have analysis paralysis on, oh, okay, like it's not this high quality, you know, I'm following these other content creators, just post it, just put it out, seriously. And like I said, as long as you every day start to try to beat your yesterday's best, that's what's going to really start to work for you. I look at some of the content that I posted, like even at the beginning of this, I'm like, this was garbage. But, and even, you know what, and here's the cool thing too, it's like what I look at now, I'm like, hey, this is pretty good, but if I'm doing things correctly, if I'm following my own advice here, this time by next year, I'm gonna look at what I'm posting up tomorrow and be like, oh, wow, that was garbage comparably to where I'm at now, right? You know, now being in the future. And that's how it should be for all of us. That's just sort of the natural order of things.
And
so
like Ken said, don't get caught up in like overanalyzing your content.
Yep.
I can tell you right now, there was like 2 years ago, I was into like really in this rut with trying to create meaningful video content. One day I was at home and there was a bird in the bird bath. And I just like filmed it one morning and posted it to my TikTok channel. It was the most viewed video I had in my entire profile. Totally random, had absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it worked. It worked. The most insanely obscure things that you could possibly not even come up with could end up being your most impactful message. So don't get caught in the rut of it has to be perfect. It has to be centered. It has to be this. It has to be that. Guys, get the message out, right? There's an argument to be made that simple may stand out more than overly complex. Yeah, absolutely. So don't get caught in the excuse, the continual loop of the excuse that I'm just not, I can't, I create something and it looks like crap, so I delete it. You may think it looks like crap. There's thousands of people out there that might find it appealing in some way, shape, or form. You never know. It's just like these people that will tell you, well, if you post something at 9 o'clock in the morning every single day, it'll be seen more than if you post it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Bogus. It's totally bogus. There's no rhyme or reason behind traffic patterns. People are using social media. You saw the data earlier. They're using social media more now than they ever have in the history of the internet. Don't sample time frames when you're posting stuff, but don't hesitate to put garbage content. I use quotations when I say garbage because you might think it is, but the amount of eyeballs that see it may not think it, right? And when they see it, that's why I argue, put the same post out there consistently for a month and load it into your timeline at different times. Play with that. And you'll see statistically, as you start to analyze the numbers, you'll start to see the engagement might be stronger on one day than it is another time frame for that day, but there's no consistent rhyme or reason behind that data. There just isn't. It changes all the time. So don't overthink it. Just put the stuff out there. Be active. The more active you are, the more opportunity you're going to create for yourself. And create the habit of doing it. And one way you're going to be able to create the habit, Ken, do you have the graphic?
Wow. Yeah, you know what? You might as well just talk about it because it's gonna take me a while to pull it up and it's not too detailed. We're starting the Real Rumble. Real Rumble, let me pull her up here from Allie.
August 1st.
Yep, starting on August 1st. Yeah, August 1st, 30 days, 30 seconds, 30 reels. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, as long as you post 30 reels. So for over the course of 30 days for August, that is 30 seconds long. We are going to be, I don't know what the prize is. Allie hasn't talked about it, but last time it was pretty cool. I think it was a coaching session with her coach. But yeah, so this is essentially something that KW Exclusive is going to be doing just for accountability purposes, right? And also to give a little bit of a carrot, at the end of this, of whoever is actually completing this in its entirety. Essentially, it's helping utilize, these scheduling softwares for, you to schedule posts up. And yeah, just to be more consistent with your content. So it can be whatever as long as
give you a quick example. This is from last year's Real Rumble. If you can see the screen.
Yep.
Let me get to the right page. I have it there, but let me get to my projects. There it is. Okay. Here's an example of, this is samples of last year's Real Rumble. Not quite sure why I'm not getting audio, but
I'll be back.
so that was last July Real Rumble that went through the entire month of July. And it was, we had some amazing reels. that were, that came out of that. I mean, we were pretty pumped about the results. So if you have, like, even if you don't have the bone to do this, don't let it stop you. Like, don't think that you have to, come up with great content to do this. Shoot the most random stuff and just submit it every day. If you already have videos in your camera that you've taken, that you can maybe say, oh, there's 15 seconds of us at a baseball game. Like, load it. What the heck? I mean, creating content is about being spontaneous most of the time. The most effective content is most spontaneous. Be outrageous with it. Be as creative as yourself will allow yourself to be without overthinking the room. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody here is going to win an Emmy. Right? Right? Okay. Right? Nobody here is going to be a cinematographer for a Marvel movie anytime soon. So, like, just make it fun, make it happen for yourself. The Real Rumble is a good opportunity to practice establishing a habit and creating a brand for yourself. It's a practice ground, guys. Don't think of it as a contest of it has to be the best. Think of it more as an exercise to get practice and get yourself, building up the habit and creating a brand for yourself if you're struggling to do that. This will give you that opportunity. And then don't be afraid to reach out to people during the contest and say, hey, what did you think of my reel? Give me your impression. Get some real-time feedback from your peers. That was great. This wasn't. This might work better. Take some constructive criticism. It'll help you kind of, as the Real Rumble's going on, you might start to see your reels getting better, more dynamic, more precise with your branding message. But above all else, you'll be able to see statistics in real time on your own page that'll tell you this is working and this isn't. So think of it less of as a contest and more of an exercise to create the habit and help, concentrate on your brand and building a good brand for yourself. Any questions? I mean, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, and there's Facebook. If you're creating a Facebook one, create a Facebook one. If you use Instagram, create one for Instagram. But make sure you're uploading. Make sure you're uploading it. I mean, we have the all agent outgoings, the inbound agent site on Facebook page, the inbound page for KW Exclusive. You can upload your content there, but share it. Make sure you're sharing. That you're creating content, not just for the specific reason of entertaining all of us, but put it out there. Let your guard down a little bit. Have some fun with it. That's above all else. Have some fun with it. Make it fun. Make it fun. Don't overthink it and make it fun. You find yourself doing it every day. After 30 days, keep doing it. After 60 days, keep doing it. Next thing you know, you're creating content every single day that for someone somewhere out there is having an impact. Then you can start worrying about the metrics of it and all the data and analyzing those. And we can help you with that so that you're getting a more precise vision of what you want this to be for yourself. But the Real Rumble is a good jumping off point for helping you get that going. So we look forward to seeing your reels starting on Thursday. And yeah, have fun with it. Above all else, have fun with it.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, guys. Don't forget to sign up for Del Grosso Day.
Oh, definitely.
24th, yes.